What's your worst birthday memory? My mother had just moved us in with our stepdad. It was summer. They met that winter and we moved in the spring. Yanked us out of our schools and we went to tiny horrible local schools. It was a miserable time and my new stepdad was very unpleasant, and it escalated to emotional abuse quickly. I was not allowed to have contact with any of my friends, the friends I grew up with. No email, nothing. So they tell me I can have a small birthday party and invite my friends, the ones I miss and grew up with. I'm so excited. They make plans. I make plans. My parents have me clean the entire house and I do it all, happily. I finally felt heard. The day before, after doing yard work because party, my mom calls me out to the garage and says she's sorry but the party won't be happening. She's contacted my friend's parents and it's all off. Why? My stepdad is having a friend to visit that day. On my birthday. I was gutted. The day of my birthday is not acknowledged beyond a verbal happy day at breakfast. To the point where when it finally came up during the visit with stepdad's friend, this friend looks pretty appalled. I didn't know it was your birthday, and he seemed so sad and confused. That night my mom said she and my stepdad were going to a coffee place. I asked to come, maybe a donut? No. You can stay here, right? That stupid pleading mom face where they ask your permission not to prioritize you. It sucked. A super sweet 15 lol. I had just turned 11 and had friends over for my birthday party. I brought people upstairs to show them my hamster. I get to her cage, look inside, and she's dead. Devastating for little me, awkward for all my friends. I had recently moved as a child and had a really rough time of getting friends. On my first birthday party there, I had 3 sorta friends come over to our house. It was the first time I ever had my own friends over. During the happy birthday song, my oldest sister came downstairs, shoved her hand into the middle of the cake my mom made, then left. I don't remember the consequences or if she even got any, but I remember that sinking feeling of embarrassment and hopelessness. In the years to come, those friends did in fact become my best friends for a while. My dad was upset that my mom was throwing me a birthday party when I turned 8, so he called me and pretty much made me stay on the phone with him for hours, so I missed the whole thing. For my 11th birthday, I got my first camera. My dad took me to Argos to pick one out. He said the limit was 70 pounds, but the camera little me wanted was 85 pounds. It was this little Canon digital thing. He bought it then just came out with happy birthday Jay, because that camera was 85 pounds, you owe me 15 pounds. He said this in front of all of the staff, and continued to pester me for the money for another month, before my mom found out what was going on and told him to stop. When no one celebrated it and everyone forgot about it, it was just like any normal day. Edit. A lot of people are saying this is okay and they like it this way, but in my defense I was 7 at the time, and it was heartbreaking for me. And this is my most upvoted thing ever THX I guess. The one where my wife said, I don't want anything for my birthday, and I believed her. My mom laughing as I opened up all clothes from Walmart when I specifically told her to please not shop there for me. I wanted one outfit from Abercrombie, this was the 90s fee. She laughed as I cried. Then 3 months later my sister got all clothes from Abercrombie for her birthday. For my 16th birthday my mom gave me a brochure about wall climbing. Not a wall climbing gift card or the plans to go wall climbing, just a brochure. I don't even like wall climbing. So I had this friend over at my house, and it was going to be my 13th birthday. Well, my brother who was 17 at the time asked me to make him a shake, and I thought it would be funny to mix in all the worst things I could find. It had ketchup, mustard, soy sauce, Hershey's chocolate syrup, and plenty more. By the end, it was a brown that visually passed for a chocolate shake. Well, I gave it to him, he takes a sip and is gagging. My friend think it's hilarious, until he decides he is gonna beat my ass. Me and my friend take off running into the kitchen where we are all running left and right around an island. My family keeps a centerpiece of apples or oranges or whatever we feel like putting in a fairly large bowl in the center of the island, to which my brother decides he is tired of chazzing us, and just grabs an orange. I don't notice this yet and he launches one at my head, smacking me perfectly in the temple. Orange busts on impact and I got knocked out, on the spot. My friend is scared for his life, and at this point I've unconsciously pissed myself. I come to and my mom is losing her shit at my brother who feels pretty bad now for knocking me out, then embarrassing me in front of a friend on my birthday. Needless to say, I had a headache that just wouldn't go away for what felt like forever. We all look back on it now and think it's pretty funny, but my mom still wants to beat my brother's ass for it. TLDR. I pranked my brother and he knocked me out for it. Went to a friend's party on my birthday. My parents wouldn't let me have one. Lots of people gatecrashed, including a few rough lads who were smoking weed in the person's house. The person's dad, who presumably owned the house, came downstairs and politely asked him to leave. They told him to fuck off and stabbed him. Edit. Thanks for 1K. Literally made a Reddit account just to post this, haha. I had to go to my grandfather's funeral. I was 10 and I had lost my other grandfather and my uncle in the 4 months prior. On my 10th birthday, I broke my arm in PE from supermaning into the cinder block wall. I might have had a concussion, but when I went down to the nurse, she sent me back to PE with an ice pack. Luckily, since it was my birthday, my mom was at the school to eat lunch with me and diagnosed it in 2 seconds from asking me to hold her car keys and me not being able to. I had gone into shock and was pale as a ghost at this time. Every year on my birthday, my mom gets a Facebook memory of a picture of me and the nurse at the hospital with my arm in a soft cast. Other than breaking my arm, my birthday was pretty great since I got the presents I wanted. My birthday last month. I was pretty depressed. Everyone forgot my birthday. I got my period without any pads available. I forgot my lunch at home. And when I texted my friends asking if they still wanted to hang out after I had made some plans with them, it turns out they weren't able to show up anymore. So I took a bath, which broke the fucking faucet somehow, and then went to eat some of my birthday cake, made the day prior, and of which I had had only one slice, and discovered my brother had eaten it all. I know it's not super deep or anything, but that was a shitty day, lol. I was 15. I was supposed to hang out with my 2 best friends and go to the movies. My dad, who has never been in my life, showed up and guilt-tripped me into coming with him so he could do something with me for my birthday. He promised a dinner and to bring me back so I could hang with my friends. We ended up going to some dude's house he loved at, where my dad proceeded to smoke crack and fall asleep. So I spent my birthday sad, hungry, and basically babysitting my 39-year-old dad. Fuck that guy. When I planned to go see a band abroad but ended up getting spine surgery instead. Worst birthday ever. My grandpa died on my 21st birthday, so that's definitely the worst one for me. Family forgot my 14th birthday. I quietly told them at the end of the day. My dad yelled at me for not speaking up sooner, while my mom denied she forgot and was just waiting for the surprise. The surprise was $10 in a brown sack lunch bag. For context, that same year my sister's 15th birthday took place in a country club, and she got a brand new car she wanted, even though she couldn't drive for another year. I got the last laugh though because I'm 100% independent from my family and happy, while my sister is 39, divorced, and has been living with my parents for the past 4 years to save up, although she still spends all her and my parents' money on designer clothes. Edit. Bonus round, since people seem to enjoy last laugh stories, my sister's dream car? A Pontiac Sunfire. https://upload.wikimedia.org/wikipedia/commons/8/03505_pontiac_sunfire.jpg. Lol. The transmission broke down before 100k miles and had no resale value. I on the other hand saved up and bought a Nissan Pulsar for $200 that didn't run, and learned how to fix cars. Skills I still use to this day, frugalness and mechanical work. Anyway, I have a fine relationship with my family now because I never made a stink about this stuff and just moved on. I eventually figured out I got the better end of the deal. 2 years ago, my partner had a bad car crash when she was rushing home after collecting my birthday cake. I knew she was planning a surprise party, so was all excited. Will never forget that moment when I received a phone call from the family liaison officers, and then rushing to the hospital feeling all numb. I came home from school when I was like 17 to a birthday cake and balloons, courtesy of my mom. It was just us two, new stepdad, and new stepsister. My stepsister was silent the whole time, probably because the attention wasn't on her. She could be very self-absorbed, and my stepdad seemed to mimic her demeanor, because in his eyes she can do no wrong. My mom was as usual super enthusiastic and great, but my stepsister ruined that moment for me with her joy-sucking attitude, and it foreshadowed some of the years to come. First one in my own flat. First one on my own. When I was little, one of my friends literally threw a screaming fit and clung on for dear life when her parents tried to get her out of the car to attend my party. When I was 18, my mum forgot because it was also Easter. Then I got stood up by the friends who were supposed to be meeting me at a bar. There was also one year I'd just moved to a new city, knew nobody, so I took myself to the cinema for a Keanu Reeves film. The projector broke about 10 minutes in. Most of my birthdays have ended up being just forgettably mediocre. My parents argued literally all day on my birthday last year. Like they couldn't take just one day to not be pissed at each other. Then, my mom took to Facebook to see if anyone would throw her a pity party, and everyone gave it to her. It started not feeling like my birthday before it even really started. April 27th, there was a series of tornadoes that came through the area and killed some people. It took the cake 2%. It was probably my first party with friends. I'd like to say I was probably 7, and I was addicted to Legos. I had Ninjago sets that I liked a lot, and at the party I let people in my room, and I don't think that I'll ever forget how devastated I was when I found out they destroyed all the sets and built other things with them. That was the last time I let friends over for my birthday for a while. When I was 8, my godmother bought me a girl's bike for my birthday. It was pink and had streamers. She meant well. My parents explained that she chose it because it was the bike she always wanted when she was a little girl, but never got. Still, it was hard as an 8-year-old boy to pretend I was happy with it, knowing friends would tease me about it. Every birthday I've had has been shared with my 4 siblings, so it's never really been about me. All of my friends used to talk about how their birthdays were a special day for them, but I never got to celebrate on my birthday. We all waited till summer to have a big party. I shouldn't complain. Having a birthday party for 5 kids at once is cost-effective and easier, since we didn't have a ton of money. Oh well. I was 16, asked my girlfriend when was she going to come to my birthday party. She replied, no sorry, I want to break up. Nice. No one wished me happy birthday, and it did so when one friend did it. I got into the mood and started to cheer up way past midnight, singing It's Ma BDAY, and got responded with SHH, your B-day was yesterday. Another friend, whose birthday was 3 days after mine, got her day celebrated throughout the week. The friend that shushed me even gave her a nice present while I was hanging out with them, just the 3 of us. And acknowledged the awkwardness of me being there to witness it. I've never been close to people before, at that point, so I was used to no one wishing my birthday. The present thing was like salt to the wound tbh. Having a party the night before, to be like yay happy birthday at midnight, and having my wallet stolen. I spent the entire next day, my birthday, canceling my cards and calling my friends to make sure no one had seen it anywhere or has it or know who might have it. As a bonus, my birthday is September 11, so you can imagine how everyone likes to point that out like I had no idea it's 9/11. Hey, your birthday is on 9/11, so that's right. I forgot. I have 2. I found out my girlfriend of 2.5 years had been cheating on me for 7 months with my best friend. She was sitting next to me on her phone when a notification from him came up, which she quickly swiped away. Later she'd left her phone at my house, and after just taking a glance, I knew what had happened. I had plans to go with my dad to see Megadeth live in concert. This was supposed to be a surprise, but my dad kinda ruined it when he blatantly asked, would you prefer floor or balcony seats? I just found out 3 days ago, though, that Dave Mustaine, Megadeth's lead singer, had been diagnosed with throat cancer, and that nearly all of their upcoming shows were cancelled. TLDR found out longtime GF was cheating, and found out Dave Mustaine had throat cancer, and the show was cancelled. Edit. I should mention that these were on my 17th and 18th birthdays respectively. 16th birthday, nobody that I invited showed up. I had to contain the tears while explaining my mother that I didn't lie to her because she believed I genuinely had no friends. Edit. I've never expected this many upvotes. Thank you all for your support. I went paintballing for my birthday party last year and got shot in the crotch. By my dad. Who was on the same team. My grandmom died on my day. Family didn't tell me. I took leave to go see her, and they told me after they picked me up from the airport. My older cousin's birthday is 3 days after mine, so my family tends to just skip mine and focus on his. I decided one year to throw a party for my birthday at my house. I paid for all the food and drinks and decorations. Had my mom help me set everything up. Had a bar set up with drinks. Had a buddy of mine DJ. Everyone shows up. Most of which ignored even saying happy birthday to me. And my aunt, not my cousin's mom, who didn't even say anything to me upon arriving, gifted my cousin a 2-week trip to Europe fully paid for, and then made my entire party sing happy birthday to him, and not even acknowledge me. And mind you, I threw this party for me because I have always been the outcast of my family, and though hey, if I throw it for myself, maybe they will actually be nice to me. And not in a material way. I just wanted some attention from my family who has always shut me out from everything. Needless to say, I don't talk to any of them besides maybe once during the holidays, and it's always the obligated hey how you been? Sometimes life is better when you're completely alone and accept it. When I was 7, my mother hired a pony and a cart to come to my house for all the kids, and I got a really bad rash from the pony, and all the kids got to ride the pony, and I had to go inside, and my mother was rubbing cream on me for probably 3 hours, and I never came outside. And by the time I got out, the pony was already in the truck. And around the corner. So that was my worst birthday. When both my dad and friends forgot about it until later on in the day. When I turned 8, I stepped on an upright toothpick sticking out of the carpet. I had my birthday party at a roller skating rink in 1st grade. I invited everyone from my class and some family members as well. No one showed up except for my immediate family. I was so disappointed. When you grow up poor, you kinda have low expectations for your birthday even at a young age. Having grown up like that, it is always a little weird when I meet people in their mid or late 20s who get excited for their birthday. Like even having countdowns and whatnot. Perfectly normal but still amusing to me. December 2017, my house burned down on my birthday. It was like a really big birthday candle that hurt my feelings. I never really had a fun birthday from the age where I was 11, apart from my 20th birthday, where I went out with 2 friends. I always had exams on my birthday in high school, and was never allowed to go out for even an hour or so, even if it was the weekend. My worst birthday was probably my 21st. It should have been a big one, but I had my first appointment in the eating disorder ward in hospital, and spent the rest of the day on my own, knowing that it wouldn't be a good year. I do realize it could be way worse. My family wanted to go fishing. I hated fishing. They could have at least gone to the local river which has clean, clear water, but they opted for a culvert over a muddy ditch next to a bunch of bean fields. Happy 14th to me. Turned 18 in basic training. Woke up at 0400 and ran PT. Every single one. The reason was because my uncle, whom sharing a birthday with was a huge man-child, insisted on having a bigger birthday party than my own. I was his junior by at least 30 years. Why have a stick measuring contest with someone that much younger than you? But here's the kicker. He died a couple years ago. My first party was when I was 30 and I insisted on no party. I had one imposed anyway, and his granddaughter took it upon herself to proclaim her sexuality to everyone there like it's a coming out thing. All the while, his widow, my actual blood relative aunt, was crying the whole time and belittling said granddaughter that lives with her. This past year, nearly same exact scenario. Next year, who knows? I don't want to. I'm going to head for the hills when it comes and take my immediate family with me. My wife, my child, myself, no one else. I can't stand my birthday. Edit. A little more context. I'm a closeted trans, FTM, and my mother is hell-bent on me marrying a sugar daddy and being pampered. So one birthday she buys me a bodycon dress, matching makeup, and platform boots. I have bad dysphoria already, so this just intensified it so badly. I broke my phone that day, and put it in rice. It then worked, but had to stay for like 70 plus hours, and I was also living as an exchange student with a family that I hated, cause they weren't nice, they didn't like me as well. That day couldn't have gone worse. On the opposite side of the world without my closest friends and family, but also in an environment that got me really depressed, and also without a fucking phone. All my birthdays are horrible. Think they were just disappointing growing up, and now I know not to have any expectations much better now. My 17th birthday. I was super depressed at that point in my life. My mom had a drunk, abusive, always fighting, now ex-boyfriend over. All I wanted was just one day without him around. Instead, I locked myself in my room for the entire day, so as to avoid them, and planned my suicide. Kinda ruined birthdays for me forever. They're so bittersweet. I used to love them, but now I always remember back to that day. No birthday has ever been that bad since, but they're not super fun anymore. My 23rd birthday was a few weeks ago, and when we were eating my cake, my mom made a scene about how nobody ever does anything for her, which is false. It made me really reflect on how my birthday never really got to be about me. On a brighter note, I worked in a 4th grade classroom this year, and my partner teacher threw me a cupcake dance party for my birthday. The kids went crazy, they loved it so much. And I tried to play it cool, but wow, it felt really amazing to be celebrated like that. On my 10th birthday, I had a friend come round and we were looking for my cat. My mom pulled me to one side and told me she had died. She'd been trying to hide it until my birthday was over. No one remembered. My mother sent a card, but it was over a week late. I worked as a cashier delivery driver at this Japanese restaurant when I was in college that had this really mean owner named Carol. She was so terrible that we had a revolving door of people quitting after a day of working with her. After a while she would warm up to you a bit and be a little kinder, but she could still be very difficult most days. Had been working there around 4 or 5 months, and she was starting to teach me to make sushi rolls. I wasn't that great at them and had to take it really slowly to do them right, but it got to the point where if it was slow and we got a simple order, she would let me take care of it. It was kind of fun for me, and I wanted to learn how to be better, so I didn't mind. I was working there on my birthday one year, and we get a customer come in for simple avocado rolls, so Carol tells me to handle it while she goes out back and has a cigarette. I take care of it, but after she left we had a bunch more people walking in asking for rolls, some that I didn't feel confident enough to make at that point, since they involved being topped with fish. I step out back to see where Carol was, and she was nowhere to be found. I had to come back and struggle to make the rolls that I knew how, while apologizing profusely to the customers, explaining that I was just a cashier, and had no idea where the sushi chef was. About 10 to 15 minutes later Carol finally comes back, and instead of being sorry for stepping out, she yells at me for being too slow in helping the customers out. She apologizes to them for me and quickly makes their orders, and at the same time belittling me by saying stuff like, "See, that wasn't so hard." I was so embarrassed and pissed off at her. I was so close to quitting that night. I didn't speak to her again all night, and she could tell I was upset and asked why I was mad. I told her it was my birthday, and she made me feel like complete shit, which I didn't appreciate. She laughed and told me to learn to take a joke, and then told me to come tomorrow, which was my day off, and she'd make it up to me with a free sushi dinner for me and my girlfriend. Free sushi was not enough to make up for making me feel so shitty on my birthday. My dad stayed on the phone with his drunk sister for 3 hours, and then got extremely angry when we lit the candles for my cake, because he wouldn't hang up on her. My family never really cared enough to do anything special for me on my birthday. On my 30th birthday a few years ago, I thought if there was ever going to be a time when they either did something or got something for me, it would be for my 30th. I ended up having to bake my own cake, and they ordered pizza and didn't let me choose the toppings. I also got $163, which I assume is all the cash they had between themselves. My birthday is mostly when exams are going on, so my friends can't get allowance to come. My dad had a business meeting, my sister studies abroad, and it was just me and my mum. I told mum to not to make cake as I was not in mood. I just studied for my exam the whole day. My grandmother moved away on my 13th birthday. Then my mother killed herself on my 21st. On my 30th birthday my then husband got drunk and broke my nose, and I spent my birthday in the ER, and then the next few weeks in a DV shelter. We were on a week trip vacation in Japan. That day was supposed to be a trip to Disneyland. Mom and younger brother tend to blow up on each other, and on that day they did. Spent half the day with dad trying to pacify mom, but she got mad at us too, saying that we were going to leave her and have fun in the theme park without her. We offered to let her stay in the hotel in case she wasn't feeling so well, either that or 6 years later, and less than 10 people greeted me on my birthday. Made me feel like I'm not significant in anyone's lives. Pretty much every birthday I ever had was shitty. I barely got any gifts or did anything special. At least my grandma always sends something special from Italy. On my sweet 16, my only friend was out of town, so I just stayed at home binging on cake and crying while I watching TV. I was about 9 or 10. I was sitting in my living room with the Spore RPG game for Wii on. It hit 5 p.m. and I started crying. Lol, I don't remember why. Also, I was born exactly at 5 o'clock. Don't know if that irrelevant. When the local weather reporter fucked up the report and ruined my birthday, I fucking hate her to this day. Fuck you, weather lady. The time a kid threw some cake at my face, strangely he was a friend, so I don't understand why he did it.